What's going on, top producers? Alexander Fazelani here, and today we are going to discuss how to conduct a buyer's presentation. But before we dive into that, I'm gonna need you to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can continuously bring this content to you for free 99. When it comes to the buyer's presentation, right now we are in this weird market where we're coming off of a seller's market. We might be heading into a stagnant market and then potentially making that shift into the buyer's market. So it's a good idea to actually have this skill down pat so you can actually shift with the market and not be like 90% of realtors that just find their way out of the business as soon as hard times hit. As a buyer's specialist, right, there's one thing that I highly recommend that you never do, which is take buyers out just because they said they were pre-approved on the phone. A lot of team leaders are just gonna be like, hey, take the buyer out no matter what, because eventually you'll find the right person. I just don't want you guys to waste time, and I want you guys to really focus on getting abundance of leads to come to you so that when you actually go out, you're going out with qualified buyers that really want to work with you and that have some type of loyalty to you. How do we do that, right? That's done only through the buyer's presentation. I actually broke the buyer's presentation down into 6 steps. I used to have something called Red Flamingo LLC, but it kind of confused people, so I just broke it down to a 6-step method, right? So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously invite them into some type of meeting, whether it be in person or whether it be via Zoom, right? So I know a lot of agents that have coffee with their clients or potential clients just to kind of shoot the shit and understand what it is that they're looking for and how you can assist them, right? So when you actually start this buyer's presentation, the first thing you're going to want to do is start on a light note, right? You don't want to dive too fast into like financial questions or, you know, dry questions. You want to kind of get to know the person, right? So the first questions you're going to ask is, hey, what interested you in the area? I know you said on the phone that you were looking in Forest Hills. What is taking you out there? Do you currently live in Forest Hills? Where do you work? Right? Just so I have a better idea of, you know, how far you are. Is Forest Hills the only area that you're looking in? Tell me a little bit about the must-haves. What are some of the needs that you need in the specific property? What are some deal breakers? What are some things that you absolutely hate and don't want in a property? Right? And the more you ask these questions, these are like fun, light questions that are going to have them open up and actually, you know, you're going to get to know that person a little better. Then from there, you're going to go into step 2, which is a little more financially based questions, right? So have you spoken to a lender yet? And the reason why we actually go from light questions to heavy questions, it's kind of like warming up, right? You don't want to start bench pressing at 225 pounds if you haven't warmed up yet. So you might want to start with the bar, do 10 reps, and then little by little, you're warming them up so that when you ask them, you know, these financial questions that are a little more invasive, they're not gonna like, you know, put a wall up and you're gonna be doing this uphill battle. So you're gonna ask them, hey, have you seen a lender? Have you got pre-approved? Do you have any outstanding debts that might affect your approval? If you are pre-approved, what was the taxes on that pre-approval, right? Like things like that. Some of the questions they may not know, some of the questions, you know, they may know, but this is where your professionalism comes in, right? Then this is a good opportunity to educate them on the LPDU verification. If you want to learn a little more about that or what pre-commitments are, check out, I'm gonna probably make another video on that in the future, so I'll share that with you as well. But this is a good opportunity to educate them on what LPDU verifications are, so on and so forth. Then you're going to go into the 3rd step, which is you're going to view some listings together, whether they're pre-approved or not, right? And when I say view listings, I mean online, right? So what you're going to do is based on the range that they gave you, so on and so forth, you're going to check out anywhere from 5 to maybe 15 properties together and just be honest with them, right? Like check out specific areas that they might be interested in. Get a lowdown of what they like, what they don't like, right? Be honest with them, like, oh man, the color of this wall looks like Hulk threw up on it. This helps with the rapport building as well, and it's also going to give them a realistic view on what they can really afford. First thing you're going to do is warm up questions. Second thing you're going to do is dive into like a little deeper financial questions. Then you're going to show them some listings, right? And during those first 3 steps, what you're really trying to do is identify leverage. So you're going to identify what their problem is and how you're going to help them solve it. Right? So that's the whole point of building the rapport, going through the financial questions, you know, basically positioning yourself as that professional and how you can actually assist them, right? So that's what the first 3 steps for. So step 4 is identifying leverage. Then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to pitch how you're going to solve their problem as a buyer specialist, right? So, a little earlier you mentioned that, you're not familiar with a pre-commitment and how that works. That actually has helped many of my buyers, get through this crazy market where, we're pushing above asking price and so on and so forth. So we have to kind of come in very strategic, and LPDU verification and a pre-commitment has helped my clients significantly. We can definitely get you set up with that, and my mortgage professional actually can help you with that. I highly recommend that you speak to him, right? So there you go. I pitched them some of the ways that can solve a problem. If they're nervous about, hey, the market is on really, really hot right now, how can I compete in this market? You can talk about some of the contingencies that you've helped thrown into contracts, whether it be the appraisal contingency. There's also the market value contingency, which is something we can go into in a later day. But you can explain a little bit how you work, what you're going to do to solve their problems, and then you're going to go for the close, right? So the close is, hey, so this is how we work. I have an exclusive buyer's agreement. So what this means is, you're going to be working with me directly, and if at any point you're unhappy with my services, I'm going to put a little contingency there that all we have to do is sign off, and then we're free. But I know you're going to be happy with our services. I'm never going to charge you out of pocket unless you go for sale by owner, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're going to break down how the process is going to go. So I'm going to, every showing, I'm going to ask you from 1 to 10, what do you think about this property? What would take it to a 10? So on and so forth. Anything over a 7.5, I highly recommend that we put in offers. And you're breaking down the next steps of what to expect when it comes to going on out and checking out properties. If they need to get pre-approved, why they need to get pre-approved first, and then how you're going to take them out after that. This is that time you're going to assume the close and actually close on them. And there you have it, guys. That's the buyer's presentation in a nutshell. I can go a little more in depth if you guys want. Please let me know in the comments below if you want me to go a little more in depth in regards to buyer language and actually working this out. And as always, this is brought to you by Design for Agents and e-commerce geared to making sure you have what you need in order to succeed in your real estate business, whether it be marketing, branding, or just taking your business and organizing it. You can learn a little more about that in the description below. Make sure that you follow the fundamentals, and then you guys will be successful as real estate agents. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.